Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ramos. First time you're stopping by, I'm National Senapise in Lagos, Nigeria. In today's video, we are making a wrap pencil skirt. It's a continuation of how I make this asymmetric neckline on my YouTube channel, which I posted on my previous videos. I'm going to leave the link down below. Don't forget to check it out. So guys, from the edges of my pattern, which is going to be my waistline, I'm going to come down from there and mark this distance between my waist to the hip line. So after marking it, I'm also going to mark the measurement from the waist to the knee length. So to take your knee length measurement, you are going to minus 1 inch from whatever you get from your waist to your knee. So after that, take your full measurement. Mine is 40, which is exactly the length of the paper. Rule out a vertical line after you mark all the points out. So from my waist measurements, I'm going to divide my waist by 4 inches. My waist is 30 divided by 4, which is going to give me 8 inches plus 1.5 inches sewing allowance. So for the hip side, I'm also going to divide my hip circumferences by 4, which is 42 divided by 4, which is going to give me 10.5 plus 1.5 sewing allowance. So to mark your knee measurement, you are going to minus 8 inches for your hip circumferences and divided it by 4. My hip is 42. 42 minus 8 is going to give me 34. 34 divided by 4, which is going to give me 8.5 inches. That is what I mark on my knee line. So after that, I'm going to connect the lines together. So from the knee line there, I'm going to mark what I have there, which is 8.5. To mark my hemline, I'm going to minus 1 inch from what I have on the knee line. So which is 7.5 plus your stitches allowance, 1.5. So I'm going to connect the lines to the knee line. So guys, we are done with the front pattern. Let's move to the back. So what I have to do now is to extend the line that I've marked on the front. So I'm going to extend it to the center back. So after extending the line finish, from the center back on the waistline, I'm going to come in by 0.75 and connect it to the hip line. So after connecting it to the hip line, I'm going to take in my waist measurement. My waist is 30 divided by 4, which is going to give me 8 inches. 8 inches plus your stitches around 1. On the hip line, my hip circumference is divided by 4. My hip is 42. 42 divided by 4, which is going to give me 10.5 inches. So I'm going to connect the lines together. Before I mark my knee measurements, I'm going to measure what I have on the hip line, which is 10.5 inches. So to mark my knee line, I'm going to minus 1 inch from what I have on the hip line. Your hip circumference is divided by 4 minus 1 inches. That is what you are going to mark on the knee line. So to mark your hemline measurement, I'm going to measure what I have on the knee line, which is 9.5. So I'm going to minus 1 inch from it, which is going to be 8.5 inches. So I'll also add my stitches allowance to it and connect it together. So from the hip line there on the center back, I'm going to come down by 6 inches. It is standard, it works for all sizes. And rule in a short line. So for the line that I rule in, I'm going to mark 1.5 inches. So that 1.5 inches that I mark, I'm also going to mark it on the knee line and also on the hem line. So after marking it finish, I'm going to connect the lines together. So after connecting the line together, I'm also going to connect the lines to the knotting on the hip line. So guys, we have done with drafting our straight pencil skirt with a butt. This is straight pencil skirt with a butt, and I have another videos on how to draft a straight pencil skirt with a butt. The only difference is that this one has a wrap on the front. No, I'm going to leave the link in the description, but if you don't know how to draft your straight pencil skirt with a butt and sew it, I have videos on it on my YouTube channel. So I'm going to leave the link in the description box. Don't forget to check it out. So guys, I went ahead and I cut it on the fabric. So I'm using Akara fabric for this style, and then I also cut the lining for it. So for the hemline there, I added 2 inches for the hemline on the Akara. For the lining, I added half inches. The reason why I added 2 inches to the fabric and half inches to the lining is because after I sewn everything inside with the lining, I wanted a little bit of fabric to be showing on the hemline, so you guys understand what I mean along the way. So guys, we are going to start with our front fabric first. I'm going to place another fabric on top of it and shape one side of it. So that one side that I shaped, that is what is going to enter the hip line. So from the waistline there, I'm coming in by 4 inches. So I'm going to root that 4 inches down straight. You can do whatever you want. You can let your wrap be slanted. Just do the shape that you want us to do. So I want my own to be straight down to the hemline. And don't forget that there's a 1.5 inches stitches allowance. So we minus 1.5 stitches allowance from the 4 inches that I marked from the waistline, about 2.5 inches. So that means that I used 2.5 inches. So guys, I forgot to say this. The one that is under it, that is the skirt. The one that is on top of it, that is the wrap. And the reason why I place the wrap on top of the skirt is because I'm using the one that is under it to shape out the wrap. From 4 inches that I come in from the other side of the waistline, I'm also going to come down by 1 inches and connect it to nothing on the other side of the waistline. So I'm going to connect it to the nothing on the other side of the waistline. So after I'm done connecting it, I'm going to cut it out. I'm doing this because when you tie your wrap, the wrap is going to be equal with your skirt length. So that's the reason why I use 1 inch to slant the waist of the wrap. So for the hemline there, for the wrap, I'm also going to remove 1.5 inches. Don't forget that we added 2 inches for the length for the skirt. So I'm going to remove 1.5. The reason why I remove 1.5 because I wanted to turn everything inside, and that half inches that remain, that's what I'm going to use to turn it inside. So I went ahead and I cut the lining. So after cutting the lining, before we move to the sewing part, I will first of all cut the rope that is going to be on the wrap to tie the wrap together with the skirt. So I'm going to first of all cut the rope first. So you can cut the rope anyhow you want it to be, but this is how I wanted my own to be. So after cutting it finished, I'm also going to slant the edge of it. After slanted it, I'm going to took it to the machine to join it before I turn everything outside. After turning the rope, this is what it's looking like, and I have about 34.5 for the rope of the skirt. So after that, I'm going to take the wrap of the skirt and place the rope on top of it. So the rope is going to be in between the lining and the fabric. So from the waistline there, I'm going to come down by 1 inch before I place the rope. So after placing it, I'm going to place the lining on top of it and use me to pin it together. So I'm going to turn from the waistline down straight to the hemline and the side that we cut out. So the daily place I'm going to open is the side. After stitching it finished, I'm going to turn in the lining. After turning the lining, I'm going to take it to my iron board and then iron it. So after ironing it, I'm going to place it on top of the full front skirt. And I'm going to place my back fabric on top of it. So the wrap is going to be in between the front skirt and the back skirt. After placing it, I'm going to use the pin to hold it together, and don't forget that we added 1.5 inches for stitches allowance. So is that 1.5 inches I'm going to take from the side inside. Before I took it to the machine, I'm going to put the second row in between the front skirt, the front fabric and the skirt fabric. So this is where I wanted to put my rope. You can put yours in the center back, and this is what it's going to look like after I'm finished sewing it. So I've also pinned the lining, place the front and the back together and pin it on the side and took it to the machine to go and stitch with the fabric and the lining. So guys, after joining the sides together, this is what it's looking like. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to use the lining to turn in the hemline. You can see that the length of the wrap is not the same thing with the length of the skirt. So I explained it before that I wanted like a loose fabric to be sewing the inside of the skirt. Inside of the skirt, that's the reason why the length is not equal with the wrap. So we are going to make it equal now. So the first thing we are going to do now is to first of all turn in the hemline. So after you stitch the hemline, you took to the machine and stitch the hemline. So after you stitch is finished, I will now pull it up. The lining is not the same length with the fabric, so I will now pull it up and pin the side. So this is what I'm talking about. What I have here plus the stitches allowance that is there is 2 inches. So I'm going to pin it, pin the side, pin the other side, and leave the waist open because this is not a skirt, this is a dress. If yours is skirt, you can turn everything inside from the waist on the side and turn everything inside and leave a little space on the lining on the side and use it to turn it outside and fix your zip. That's all. Because this one is a dress, that is why I leave the waist open. So after stitching this, I'm going to turn everything outside, and this is what it looks like. So this is what I'm talking about. You can see there's a little bit of fabric inside. For the hemline, you can see now that the hemline is equal with the wrap. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to join the center back. So from the waistline, I'm going to come down by 10.5. Your hip depth plus 1 inches, and don't forget that there is half inches for joining on the waistline. So I always added 1 inches to my hip depth. If my hip is 10, so I'm going to use 11 inches for the shape. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm also going to mark and come down from the waist down to my neckline, which is 20 inches plus half inches for the stitching allowance on the waistline. So after that, I'm going to come in by 1 inches. Don't forget that we added 1.5 inches for the zip allowance, and we already take in half inches to turn in the center back. So I'm going to mark the remaining 1 inches and took it to the machine to go and stitch it together. So after stitching together and the ending of it, when the slit starts, I went ahead and top stitched on it. So I really do this because I wanted the slit to overlap. If you don't want your slit to overlap, you don't need to do that. So for the slit on the back, I'm going to fold in one side of the slit with 1 inch. Don't forget that what we have remain is 1 inch on the center back. So I'm going to fold down 1 inch. One side of the slit, I'm going to fold it 1 inch. So the one that I fold inside is going to overlap the one that is under. So after I'm done putting it, I'm going to use the iron to hold it together. So this is what it's looking like after I'm done with it. This is how the front is looking like, and this is the back. So what remains now is to fix the zip. I told you guys before that it is dress, not a skirt. So what I have to do now is to fix my arm length. So guys, I have a videos on how I make this arm length that you are seeing on the screen. So I'm going to leave the link in the description box. So after fixing it, this is what it's looking like. So guys, this will be the end of today's tutorial. I see you guys in my next video. Bye.